Hello my gorgeous beans and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever sat down and thought to yourself, I wish I was better at this? Actually, no. I wish I was the best, like no one ever was. If so, you're in the right place because today we are starting a new island, an island inspired by one of our childhood franchises, an island inspired by none other than Pokémon. It's February and that means it's prime time to celebrate Pokémon. The first games released on February 27th in 1996, which has since been donned as Pokémon Day, a day where the Pokémon company celebrates the franchise and usually announces any new merch, features in existing games, or even new games. It's a day where Pokémon fans come together and rejoice at what's coming in the future. Pokémon is a franchise that'll always be dear to my heart as one of my favorite franchises, so Tiller and I thought it was the perfect time to come together once more for an island that combines two of our favorite games, Pokémon and Animal Crossing. This island will be similar to Oz and Dodo Resorts, where I'll be decorating the island and Tiller will be hunting for our villagers. But this time there's a twist. What this entails, you'll have to stay tuned, as it'll come into play in just a moment. Today we will be starting with the entrance and starting area of the island, so with all that kerfuffle aside, let's get started. To start, I downloaded a bunch of Pokemon custom designs to help the theme along as we go, and it's time to start where we all begin our Animal Crossing journey, the island entrance. I wanted a more natural entrance, so I used this picture as a reference and started by laying out the pathing. Nice. From there, I planted some trees and then started on the waterscaping and terraforming. I built up the cliff until I had the rough shape I wanted, filled it in, and shoveled down those small waterfalls. Both were extended into rivers to reach around the cliff and connected together like this before shaping the lower river so it all flows together nicely. Then I built the smaller cliff on the other side of the path, planted a tree, and added another section of waterfalls until they all infinitely connected together. Nice. A couple planted trees later, and I decided to actually cut this cliff in half so I could angle the pathing just a little more to the right and planted more trees. From there, I added some fencing following my reference, acute munchlax, and planted a couple shrubs. I placed down my house here as a future professor's lab, and the area is starting to come together. Nice. Then I planted some more trees and skipped a couple days worth of paying my house loans until I could fully customize the exterior to look more like the lab. Yay. A couple Pokemon-esque designs later and the area is shaping up. I know this is pretty much it as far as an entrance goes, but I'm not quite done yet. I'd like to add more to this starting area by expanding it into the first point of interest. Every single Pokemon game has you start in your hometown, usually a very small area with little houses and of course the professor's lab. So that's what we'll be building, or at least try to. And because Tiller's favorite generation of Pokemon is Generation 2, we'll be using the calm world of Johto as our starting area, using this as our reference. But there's just a couple things to finish first, so after a little break I placed down pathing on the cliff at the entrance until it looked like this, and added some wooden planks below that. Nice. From there I planted a couple more trees and skipped a couple of days to stunt some of those trees and let the others fully grow. Then I took some time to move Taylor onto the island by placing his tent below my house and paid off the first debt, so he could have the base house. I switched back to me, and as I was picking up clutter, I noticed in the corner of my eye that Patty had a thought bubble. She wanted to move out, and so naturally we let her go. Bye, Patty! And naturally, as we mentioned earlier, you'll have to stay tuned on Taylor's channel as his villager hunt to replace Patty will be up very soon, and trust me, you do not want to miss this, as they are not your usual villagers. Hehe. Anyway, I planted a couple more trees around and started decorating by placing down a wind turbine here, and I moved this tree over one square so it doesn't block it entirely. Nice. There's some water below the house on the reference, but instead of making it a big block, I waterscaped a natural looking river, built up some cliffs, and finished it off with, you guessed it, waterfalls. A couple more trees felt necessary, and I stretched the path out a little towards the river just like so. From there I used this cliff-like custom design to mimic these drops you see in the older games frequently, planted some shrubs around the area, and dropped wooden stakes here and here alongside a couple water pump items and a small path. Back to the entrance cliffs, I dropped this windmill as it felt appropriate and a metal briefcase. If you're wondering what this is about, It'll make sense later. Anyway, I dropped a plant partition here and let a cute wormhole look on as I laid out a mud patch and used these custom designs to turn it into a mini Pokemon battle area. Cute! A couple miscellaneous items later like this stool, this ball, and this storage shed, and I saved the game to finally bring in the magic. Or should I say twist of this island. Some of you might have already guessed it, and indeed, for the first time we are working with a modded island, or a spicy island if you will. Now if this will turn some of you away from the series, I understand, but trust me, it will be so worth it. What's this? An Ultra Ball? A Flower Patch? An Eevee? I told you the briefcase would make sense. I skipped a couple days to let the last trees grow, and this area is really starting to come alive, especially with a shiny Eevee here and a big dragon plush that looks like a Charizard on top of this cliff. Oh my goodness, isn't this the cutest thing you've ever seen in this game? Lastly, I turned the interior of my house into a science lab with of course the obligatory Pokeball stands, and turned Tiller's house into your basic starter bedroom from the games. Perfect. So there we have it. An adorable starter area for an adorable theme of Pokemon. If you haven't already gathered, the video format of this island will be slightly different to the other islands I've done so far. Since I've been so crazy busy, it's a little easier for me time-wise to edit and upload build by build instead of a whole island or huge sections like Oz. At least for the time being. If in the end it really doesn't end up working out this way, you'll probably notice. I do apologize if this ended up being quite a short video, but sometimes life just lifes in a way you didn't anticipate, and because I didn't want to completely stop building islands or uploading videos, this is a great middle ground. I do truly hope you're all super excited to see more of this project, because between Tiller's videos and myself, we've got a couple more tricks up our sleeves, and we're so excited to share them with you all. It's been really fun starting this island so far, and I can't wait to continue. Feel free to like this video if you enjoyed it, and make sure you subscribe to both Tiller and myself to get the next Animal Crossing video in a notification box near you soon. His video will most likely go up in a couple days, so stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much for watching, and make sure you all stay happy, healthy, and hydrated, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye!